Before we get to this week's Monday Night Raw review and reaction from Monday, March 4th, 2019, amplified style, I want to take a moment to acknowledge an individual that helped captivate me to this business known as professional wrestling. Helped me fall in love with this industry and profession known as professional wrestling. And that man's name is King Kong Bundy. We're all waking up this morning to the news that King Kong Bundy has passed and he is no longer with us. To say that news absolutely sucks wouldn't do it justice. So I'll try to put it into words as quick as I can. I know we got a show to do right now. But I think it's fitting to fill you guys in just as I tweeted out before making this video. The very first match I ever witnessed when it comes to professional wrestling was at WrestleMania 2 in a steel cage match, Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. That was my first ever match I ever witnessed as a young Mr. Amplified. And as that youngster, Hulk Hogan was already established, King Kong Bundy not so much, to yours truly. But after that match was said and done, King Kong Bundy was a larger-than-life, bona fide superstar, forever, to yours truly. No wasted movements, no wasted mannerisms, no wasted expressions. This guy was a larger-than-life badass, kicking ass. King Kong Bundy doesn't need a Hall of Fame induction to validate him. King Kong Bundy's legacy is already cemented in the very foundation to which this business was built upon. And that is a legacy far greater than most superstars will ever claim to achieve. To King Kong Bundy, rest easy, big man. Thank you for all the memories. Thank you for entertaining yours truly and everyone in the Amplified unit and every professional wrestling fan that ever came across your work. Thank you for helping put in those bricks to build the business we have today. To your family, your friends, your loved ones, nothing but thoughts, prayers, and love sent your way from the Amplified unit. King Kong Bundy, there'll never be another like him, but I can say that about just about every superstar that I grew up watching in those 80s and into the 90s, because the characters were all so larger than life. Something we desperately need today. There are no more larger than life characters today. The 80s and the 90s used them all up, it seems. King Kong Bundy would be much needed today, just as he was back in the day. Thank you so much, Bundy. You'll never be forgotten. Always with us, forever. Now on to the review. I don't even know, guys. Becky Lynch took a beating last night. There's no other way to put it, man. Ronda Rousey put the boots to Becky Lynch. Probably the only bright spot of Raw, aside from maybe Triple H cutting that promo on Batista. But that's not saying a lot. You got a guy who is part-time, and I'm being generous. He wrestles once or twice tops a year, and he's cutting better promos than the entire roster. That's not good. You have an NXT facility down there, the Performance Center, that literally teaches promo classes, yet nobody is cutting good, not even great, I'm just looking for good. Nobody's cutting good promos from these promo classes. These promo classes are producing zero results. Because promo classes aren't going to make a damn of a difference if you have the personality of a microwave or the charisma of a can opener. That's the truth. Charisma and personality has to ooze from your DNA. It has to be from within you. That's what helps build your overall it factor that you always hear about in this business. If you don't have charisma and personality, it's gonna be 100 times harder to get over. These promo classes are a waste of time. I like the way they did it back in the day, especially the Attitude Era, when you just let them be themselves. That way we'll decipher who's good and who isn't on that microphone. But when they're so heavily and overly scripted, and they're trying to remember what they learned in class, you get such stiff, hard to watch, nauseating promos from that entire roster. Give or take a few individuals. So yeah, Triple H was one of the bright spots with the whole Rousey ending segment, but aside from that, you had 2.5 hours of nonsensical, redundant, confusing bullshit Monday Night Raw. And that, my friends, is an issue, because this Sunday, you probably didn't even know this, I just remembered it this morning, and I watched 3 hours of Raw last night, and not once did I think this Sunday was Fastlane, but guess what? This Sunday is Fastlane. You didn't know that was a go-home show, did you? I know. Me neither, because it wasn't presented as such. And it was rushed beyond belief. I know the title of this pay-per-view is Fastlane, but that's taking the title a little too literally and going with it, running with it. Because just like in any road of life, the road to WrestleMania is the same as your road to grandmom's house. The road to your grandmother's house, the road to the Olive Garden is the same as the road to WrestleMania. Every road, you have to do maybe 5 to 10 miles per hour over the limit, and you're going to be in the smooth zone, smooth sailing. But if you go 15 to 20 miles per hour over the speed limit, then you start hitting that risky, kind of careless, reckless zone. You can still get away with it, but you got to be much more careful. Every precise move matters. But once you hit 100 miles per hour, now you're a train wreck waiting to happen. And that's what happened with the road to WrestleMania. They weren't set on cruise control. They weren't just going 5 to 10 miles per hour over the limit, not even just 15 to 20 miles per hour over the limit. They got that shit clutched at 120 miles per hour. The problem with that is, you're a train wreck ready to happen when you're going at that speed. And the road to WrestleMania in the WWE, they're going that fast toward WrestleMania because they produced too many stops in between the Rumble and WrestleMania. They had to stop too many times. So now to make up time, they gotta put that pedal to the metal 120 miles per hour to WrestleMania, MetLife Stadium, New York City. Elimination Chamber in February. Fastlane in March. Rekindle your build for 4 weeks to WrestleMania. Too many stops. So they had to pick up time, and it is a train wreck. What do I mean? It's rushed. What do I mean? It's going too fast, and it doesn't make sense. I'll tell you exactly. I'll give you a prime example of your Fastlane, one of their big matches they announced last night that me, and I'm sure a lot of you, couldn't care less about. And that's the Shield getting back together to take on Lashley, Corbin, and McIntyre. Just last week, Reigns was coming back. He just came back last week. And already 1 week later, the Shield is back together, and moments after they get back together, and I literally mean moments, they're in a match at Fastlane with Lashley, Corbin, and McIntyre. You don't consider that rushed? You don't consider that a train wreck? That's what happens when you stop too many times on the road to where you're going, your destination. Your journey can have a lot of fun in it. It can have some stops, but if you put too many, you're going to have to make up time at some point. They had no time to build Fastlane's card. So they tried to rush it last night. And it is even more confusing, redundant bullshit that nobody cares about than I ever could have fathomed, than I ever could have imagined. Another Shield reunion and another 6-man tag match with Lashley, Corbin, and McIntyre. I don't know who could be excited about this. The way Dean Ambrose turned on Seth Rollins the night Roman Reigns made that announcement, you don't just forget about it and fist pump all in one night. That takes something that's going to take weeks and even months to rebuild that trust, or at least realistically, that's what it should take. But again, WWE has their pedal to the metal. 120 miles per hour headed toward WrestleMania. They have to make another stop Sunday at Fastlane. They had to rush this thing. And I'm not talking rushed it by weeks. They rushed it in one night. Roman calls out Seth. Seth and Roman talk about rekindling the Shield. They call out Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is at the rampway. Elias hits him with a guitar from the back. Rollins and Roman Reigns help Dean Ambrose up. Dean Ambrose shrugs him aside. Later in the night, Dean Ambrose is taking on Elias. Elias ends up beating Dean Ambrose pretty easily, I might add. After the match, Rollins and Roman Reigns are back into the middle of the ring, help out Ambrose again. Ambrose once again shrugs him to the side. Ambrose starts to ascend up the rafters into the crowd. Here comes Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre. They start beating the shit out of Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose is like, shit, what do I do? Shit, what do I do? What do I do? We all know what you're gonna do. Just do it, idiot. Here comes Dean Ambrose running into the ring. He helps Rollins and Roman Reigns. And the Shield is back together. Literally 1 minute later, there's a triple fist pump. You don't consider that rushed? And then literally they went to commercial, came back, and they announced a 6-man tag match for Fastlane. You know, Fastlane, I understand you need to do the Elimination Chamber. Fastlane should have never been. 3 weeks after the Chamber and 4 weeks before WrestleMania, this was not needed. And now you have to pick up your pace, and a lot of this shit is not going to make sense. It's not going to be realistic. But more importantly, nobody's going to care about it. I don't mind seeing the Shield together. I think these 3 individuals collectively together are badass. I'm always down for a Shield reunion. Way too quick, and in a way that is watered down beyond measure. Against 3 jamokes that I don't give a shit about right now, especially in a 6-man tag. So no, I'm not going to elaborate any more on the Shield, guys. This was done rushed. This was done without any thought behind it. This was done in a non-realistic format and way that Seth Rollins would just forgive Dean Ambrose that quick. This was more dastardly than when Seth Rollins turned on Ambrose and Reigns. Man, you know, if you wanted to do a Shield reunion at WrestleMania somehow, and you started building to that like you started last week, and especially last night, then I'm okay with it. The way they did it last night, man, and all for what? All for what? To have a match at Fastlane that is going to be so stupid, that is going to captivate nobody, that's going to create zero buzz and zero interest. I will ask WWE when it's all said and done, was it worth it? To Vince, maybe so. Get the Shield name up in the marquee, collect a few extra ticket sales at the gate, maybe attract a couple of extra eyeballs on pay-per-view or on the network. Maybe it was all worth it. McIntyre, Lashley, Corbin took out Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, and Kurt Angle earlier in the night before they attacked Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. They totally beat the hell out of Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and Kurt Angle. Monster among men. He should be able to take out anybody in front of him. 10 people, 20 people, shouldn't matter. He's a monster among men. But with Balor and Kurt Angle helping him, he can't do anything about the mighty Bobby Lashley. The Scottish Terminator. Drew McIntyre and the ultra annoying, or whatever his nickname is, Baron Corbin. Constipated Corbin. Strowman can't do anything, even with help. Makes you think he could do anything by himself. Kurt Angle, what the hell did he come back for? This is what you had Kurt Angle? I could see if it was for something epic. One last hoorah at WrestleMania. This is going to be a watered-down Kurt Angle by the time he even gets to WrestleMania, the way they're using him. Finn Balor, that's your IC champion. Does anybody even care he's an IC champion? I know, me neither. Pop collar, smiley, whitey tighties Finn Balor. Taking another L last night. The only thing memorable in that match was Braun Strowman literally going through Lio Rush and through the barricade. But screw the barricade. Lio Rush got disintegrated. Braun Strowman not just went through Lio Rush through the barricade. Braun Strowman landed on Lio Rush. And I believe anyway, from what I saw, Lio Rush disintegrated. He's still missing today. That's supposed to be one of your big matches for Fastlane. That 6-man tag match. That is a match I don't even want to see on Monday Night Raw. I don't want to see that match on Main Event. I don't want to see that match at a live event. In a dark match at a fucking television taping. Or at a house show. I don't want to see that match, period. Yet that's what we're getting at a pay-per-view. On a card that I don't even know what else is on there. Last second, they threw together Charlotte versus Becky. And aside from that, I think they announced Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. Aside from that, I don't know what is on this card. I just don't know why this is needed. You could have been set on cruise control. Just like as if you're on your way to grandma's house or on your way to the Olive Garden. We could have all been on cruise control to WrestleMania where shit made sense, we were captivated, and everybody was excited and having a good time. But instead, we're all confused, we're seeing redundant bullshit, nonsensical, anything but reality segments, moments that are befuddling us. This is what we are witnessing now because they are no longer on cruise control. They're trying to speed through this shit. And when you speed through this shit, you are a train wreck waiting to happen. It is inevitable. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And it happens this Sunday at Fastlane. I believe this is where we're going to see the culmination of a very tragic train wreck. Anyway, what the hell else happened? I don't even... I'll get to Ronda Rousey, like I said, and Triple H at the end of this video because I'm not done with the tragic, nonsensical bullshit. There's still over 2 hours left of nonsense. Nothing that has anything to do with Fastlane or WrestleMania, or nothing that should do with Fastlane or WrestleMania. Natalya defeated Ruby Riott. Sharpshooter, Ruby Riott is able to get out of it, only to get rolled up afterwards. Natalya picks up a pin over Ruby Riott. This match was, if you blinked, you would have missed it. Maybe that's a good thing. But Ruby Riott was in there with Ronda Rousey recently. We started thinking maybe they'll give Ruby Riott something once they separate her from the Riott Squad. No, now she's just losing to Natalya. And then it just gets more tragic. At the end of this match, here comes a Southern lady. A Southern belle known as Lacey Evans. She comes down to the ring. She waves to everybody. She goes to the ring. Maybe not. She goes back up the rampway, and nobody knows what this is for. Nobody cares about a Southern lady and Lacey Evans. Seriously. Unless you're coming down to the ring and you're serving up some of that Southern pie, nobody wants to see you. Or if you do want people to see you, you might want to tell Vince, this isn't working. We can do this for the next 3 years. It's not going to captivate interest. Heavy Machinery defeated Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, the B-Team, and the Ascension in a gauntlet tag team match. Did that excite you? Let me say this again. Heavy Machinery defeated Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, the B-Team, and the Ascension in a tag team gauntlet match. Were you excited? Don't bullshit me. Exactly. You were not. And do you know why? Because again, I'll say it again, you were not excited because it was Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, the B-Team, in the Ascension in a gauntlet match. I don't even mind Heavy Machinery. But it's clear they're already using them as goofs. It's clear this tag team division is a joke. And if you needed any more evidence of that, Ricochet and Aleister Black, in just their third week on the main roster, are already going for tag team titles. Not at a future pay-per-view, not at WrestleMania, not even this Sunday. Last night, Aleister Black and Ricochet went for the tag team championships. That's right, they've only been on the roster 2 weeks previous. This is only their third week. They've only had a couple of victories as a tag team. And they already went for the tag titles last night. That's how much of a joke this tag team division is and this company is. The only thing more of a joke of them actually going for the titles last night is the outcome. Sure as hell they shouldn't be winning the tag titles from the Revival last night. They also shouldn't be losing that match last night. It's too young in their main roster career. So yeah, you have to have schmozzery. But how did they go about it? They had Bobby Roode and Chad Gable at ringside for zero reason. It's a tag team match. The ref should have automatically eliminated them from ringside. They're not a manager for either of the tag team, so why are they down there? Makes zero sense. I can't stand when things don't make sense. And then the Revival goes to the outside. Dawson, Wilder, it doesn't matter who it was. Maybe they attacked both. But Roode and Gable end up attacking the Revival 8 or 9 minutes into this match. Why would they just Would it matter who wins the tag titles? Let whoever wins and then get in the ring and say, I got next, if you want to make your presence felt. What was so urgent that you had to attack the Revival during the title match? Makes zero sense. What's this gonna set up? A triple threat tag team title match for Fastlane? Ricochet and Aleister versus the Revival? I can speak. The Revival versus Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Well, shit. I can't tell you how excited I fucking am for that. Tag team division is beyond a joke. It is criminal. It is tragic how much of a sideshow it has become. Wish I could stop there with the tragic bullshit, but Tamina Snuka is over here defeating Sasha Banks in a one-on-one match. Can't make that shit up. That's right. And I know. Don't worry, BC. This is securing the tag titles for Sasha and Bayley at Fastlane. They're going to beat Tamina and Nia now because Tamina beat Sasha last night. Obviously, Sasha and Bayley were going to keep the titles at Fastlane. You think all of this was just for a 3-week title reign? And they were going to lose it at Fastlane? Obviously, they're keeping the straps. I don't need to see Sasha Banks lay flat on her back for Tamina to tell me that. On top of that, is that supposed to be a consolation prize? Sasha and Bayley are going to keep the tag titles. Woohoo! So for the rest of 2019, I can see Sasha stuck in a tag team with Bayley, when she should be on her own, kicking ass for individual titles. Tamina Snuka, a super kick in Sasha Banks, one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time. Flat on her back. Tamina Snuka is defeating one half of your tag team strap holders. Okay, makes sense. I believe it. Said no one ever. Michael Che, Colin Jost, is that their names from Saturday Night Live? You got two fucking bums from NBC Saturday Night Live. They're guest hosting Monday Night Raw. They're gonna guest host WrestleMania. They're trying to be all comedic. They're trying to be funny. And I'm cringing during every one of their segments. I literally just want to do a dive bomb out the Fit Story window. Head first. And then, if surviving that, I want to get up and go through every cement wall that I come across. Because Michael Che and Colin Jost are guest hosting. Yeah, because that really worked well back in the day when they did the guest host scenarios in segments. Makes a mockery of this business, especially this company. As if that's even fucking more possible than WWE is doing to themselves. Self-sabotage. Is that everything? I don't even know, guys. That's fucking... If there was anything else, I guess... I'm not trying to forget it. I guess... What am I saying? Yeah, I'm trying to forget it. I can't bullshit you guys. I most likely was trying to forget it. So anything I did forget, yeah, it's most likely, whether consciously or subconsciously, it's on purpose. Before I get to Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch, man, let me just talk about Torrie Wilson. She was announced as the next induction into the Hall of Fame this year, behind D-Generation X. And the pro wrestling world is split. Some people saying, yay, she deserves it. And other people saying, she doesn't deserve it. And what I would say to that, guys, is you go ahead and spend a month on the road with this company. 1 month. And you will most likely feel like you should be in every wrestling Hall of Fame there is. This lady, this woman, did that for 10 years. A decade. She still shows up here and there, by the way, for this business, not just WWE. But 10 years strong, doing everything Vince McMahon asked of her, doing everything within her capabilities, going outside of her comfort zone. When McMahon was wanting her to do those Playboy issues. But she was willing to go outside that comfort zone. She was willing to expand the horizons and bring more eyeballs to WWE, no matter which way, whether you agree with the way she did it or not. A little bit of sex appeal never hurt anybody. But 10 years she put into this business from 1999 WCW. A big part of that invasion storyline. The work she did with Candice Michelle, Vince McMahon, DX. The list goes on and on. All the way to 2008, when she finally announced retirement. You look at people like Chyna, who only did 4.5 years in WWE. Sunny was in the Hall of Fame. Nobody batted an eyelash. You're telling me Sunny deserved it that much more than Torrie? Torrie's skills you keep talking about. Sunny didn't have any wrestling skills. So you're saying Sunny deserved it based on her sex appeal? It was more sexy than Torrie? She did more for the company because of her sex appeal? Is that what you're telling me? Torrie's longevity was longer. And I mentioned Chyna. I'm not putting them in the same boat. Chyna in 4.5 years did what most women will never accomplish in 20 years. I understand that. What I'm saying is, Torrie lasted 10 years in the business. She wasn't there to win championships. She wasn't there to put on the 5-star matches. Her wrestling was never going to be the best, but she was there night in and night out when Vince called upon her. She was in memorable storylines. She did the work. She put in the work. She paid her dues. To say she's not deserving when I didn't hear anybody saying that Sunny didn't deserve to be in there, that would be bullshit. It's a Hall of Fame with Pete Rose in it. Get over yourself. If you think this Hall of Fame is that legit, you done fallen and hit your head too many times as a child. Blame yourself, blame your parents, but somebody needs to be blamed for your stupidity. This Hall of Fame was a sham from the beginning. Pete Rose is in it. I don't even mind Pete Rose, but the second you put guys like that in, it becomes a joke. Chyna is not inducted into it. Owen Hart, Randy Savage, it's clear they just pick and choose. Randy Savage now can go in. Now that he's no longer here. Thanks, Vince. It's a sham. People take this so seriously. A woman who busted her ass for 10 years straight, she gets the phone call and social media starts blasting her, saying she doesn't deserve it. You spend a month, 1 year on the road with that company. You tell me she doesn't deserve the adulation that she's about to get. Would it be my top choice this year? Absolutely not. Is there people you claim more deserving? Most likely so. That doesn't mean you take away her accomplishments. Or take away her deserving card. You like to bash people when something good happens to them. Be happy for them, man. It's one of what should be 6 to 7 different inductees this year. With the Honky Tonk Band, with DX, and with more names to come. I'm happy for her. Congratulations, Torrie Wilson. Never mind the naysayers and the haters and the people that think this Hall of Fame is the most legit shit since sliced bread. It ain't. I would love it to be. But you're not going to start at Torrie Wilson. This isn't going to be the hill that we're going to die on. People having an aneurysm because Torrie Wilson is going into the Hall of Fame. I could see if she was in there for maybe 6 months. Then maybe we can start having a discussion. A year and a half. A 2-year WWE career. A 3-year total wrestling career. 10 years? And you're throwing a fit because she didn't win some championships? She wasn't the best wrestler back in 1999 or in 2003? I can give you a list of superstar women athletes back then that weren't top-notch or nowhere near it. And they're still going to probably be in that Hall of Fame. It's more than just the wrestling. It's what you contributed to this business. If you don't think Torrie Wilson contributed a lot in those 10 years, you're a fucking clown. Straight up. I'm not even going to negotiate, debate, ponder this with anybody. You're a straight clown if you think she's not deserving of it. I'm down with Victoria, Mickie James in the future. All of it. Absolutely. This is Torrie's time. I'm not going to take it away from her. And yes, I'll say this again like I did a million times. Chyna should be going in on her own first. Then they could have done the DX. Chyna first. By herself. That still pisses me off. Alright, moving on, guys. That's enough with Torrie Wilson. Triple H, I touched up on it earlier. I love this promo. It started off with Batista, who I loved his promo. He put on Instagram. He didn't even show up to Philadelphia. Batista was just talking about how he hates Philadelphia. And that's why he's not showing up. He doesn't even have a prior commitment. He just didn't want to show up. And as far as Pittsburgh, I don't know if that's next week's Raw, but he mentioned Pittsburgh. And he said, I don't like them either. But who knows what'll happen with Pittsburgh. Or maybe that's fast. Who the fuck knows? But he did mention Pittsburgh as well. And he says, Triple H, we're going to play by my rules. This is my game now. And this is going to be on my time. I love the Batista, man. That is the ultimate bad guy Batista. That's the Batista we all know and love. Triple H's promo, second to none, man. This guy just lit it up. He brought that realism into it. You know, the past several years, Batista has been calling out Triple H. Hey, man, I want one more run with WWE. I want it to be with Triple H. They're not even returning my phone calls. This broke kayfabe. This was real shit. Batista was being serious. They just wouldn't return his calls. So Triple H got on the microphone last night and he started talking about the whole world knows what Batista wants. You've only been crying about it for 2 years on the internet. That's what Triple H said. You've only been crying about it for 2 years on the internet. And then Triple H said, now Batista's going to play bad guy 101 with me. You're not going to show up because you don't like the people here. We're gonna play by your rules. It's your game now. We're on your time. Bad guy 101 is what Triple H called it. And Triple H said, listen, we can do this anywhere, anytime. You can come to my house, or damn, I can come to yours. We can do this anywhere. The parking lot, it doesn't matter. You guys know I love that. That is where I want to see storylines and segments and feuds progress. In the parking lot, at somebody's home, at a grocery store, outside a Home Depot, inside a ShopRite. It doesn't matter. The brawl is on. Triple H even mentioning that it doesn't need to be in the ring. It could be anywhere. We could get as personal as you want. That was epic. And again, you don't see promos like that anymore, do you? Because they don't teach that in class, in promo class down in NXT, how to be really good at promos. They teach you how to be stiff and regurgitate 10-page monologues of bullshit. Nothing more to say there. It was just a Triple H promo. And Raw was so bad, that was one of the highlights of the show. Tells you a lot. And then it went to the ending. And I tweeted this out last night. I said, if this Becky Lynch Charlotte segment doesn't produce some results, I'm going ballistic in today's review. Luckily, I didn't have to go ballistic because I don't mind the ending. It's still confusing and befuddling as all hell. But this was the Ronda Rousey that should have been from day one. Charlotte Flair is in there with Becky Lynch. They're staring across from one another. Stephanie McMahon's in the middle. They're about to sign a contract. Becky Lynch has to sign a hold harmless agreement, meaning WWE will not be liable if Becky Lynch gets further injured during their match at Fastlane. That's right. Did I forget to inform you guys? Charlotte is taking on Becky Lynch at Fastlane. It was originally supposed to be what was Stephanie McMahon announced as the vacant championship. But I'll get to that in a second. It later got turned into Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. If Becky wins, she is a part of the Charlotte-Ronda match at WrestleMania, making it a triple threat, which we all knew from day one it was going to be. And if Becky loses at Fastlane, which she will not, then she is totally out. She is done. She does not get another chance for Ronda's championship, and she will not be a part of the Ronda-Charlotte match at WrestleMania. Hopefully you guys can keep track of this nonsensical, stupid shit that I am regurgitating to you guys that was told to us last night by Stephanie McMahon. It is so stupid. They went through all of these hoops just to get to what we already knew was going to be a triple threat anyway. Anyway, Becky Lynch, by the way, hobbling more so than ever, by the way. You would think somebody would get better, right? The medical report that Triple H gave us weeks ago was that Becky Lynch didn't even break or sprain anything or nothing. And here she is last night looking weaker and worse than ever. She can't even put weight on the foot now. So the crowd that wanted to give her a pop when she first came out, listen to that crowd reaction. When she started hobbling out, completely dead. Because how can you get that excited and energetic with a hop-along? Mrs. Hop-along. That's her new action figure. Mrs. Hop-along. Get it tomorrow, kids. Complete with crutches. So they're standing facing. Becky Lynch signs the contract, and out comes Ronda Rousey. She starts from the parking lot, and she's mean-mugging. She's looking like she's going to kill anybody in her path. Her music hits. She comes down to the ring, and she gets into the ring. She tells Stephanie McMahon, cut the crap, Steph. Give me my title. Stephanie McMahon playing her ultra bitch face. I loved it. She's got, Ronda, you vacated it last week. Nothing more I can do. We're doing what's best for business. Ronda Rousey is not playing around. Steph, I'm not playing with you. Give me my title back. I did it for the inclusion of Becky Lynch, to make things better. Now give me my title back. Stephanie McMahon was like, I ain't even trying to play with Ronda Rousey with that look. Gives her her title back, and then makes the announcement that I still have to do what's best for business, so Becky will still take on Charlotte, but if Becky loses, she's done. She is not part of the triple threat at WrestleMania. If she wins, she is a part and will become a triple threat at WrestleMania. It makes me nauseous even regurgitating that bullshit. So, what even happens next, man? I don't even... What the fuck happens next? Ronda Rousey grabs the microphone. That's right. I think it was just Ronda's promo. Still rushing it. You know what I mean? I wish she would take her time a little bit. She gets so anxious, but she hit all of her marks. I don't know how she's doing it. They're still giving her 10 pages of monologue. If they just cut that shit out, she'd be so much better. But they give her so much to remember that she feels she has to rush through it. But she hit all her points. She hit all of her bullet points. Didn't fuck it up, so that's always a bonus. That's a plus. I actually understood everything she was saying this time, and I loved it. She was talking about how she no longer is going to care what the people think because she did everything right from day one, and all they did was boo her. And she said, no more am I going to care about what any of you think. I am done trying to please you. I am Ronda Rousey. I could break their noses if I so much as sneezed in their direction. I loved it. This is the Rousey I've been telling you we need to see, because she can legit break the arm of anybody on that roster in seconds. She's a real-life, legit badass. Not saying the WWE superstars and pro wrestlers aren't, but she has proven that she can snap human beings' arms in seconds. Legit fighters. Not just the normal person going in and out of a Walmart, but other UFC fighters. And I don't want to hear the bullshit. She was before the time of actual legit contenders that came after her. And if Ronda was around today, she'd be beat left and right. Guys, you may be right. But the fact is, it was a different era, and Ronda was the first of her kind. So for her to be doing that in that era, you gotta give her props. You know, nobody wants to give people their due anymore, man. Torrie Wilson's going to Hall of Fame. She doesn't deserve it. Ronda Rousey has a championship and she's getting big matches. She doesn't deserve it. Shut the fuck up. You don't deserve to be a fan if you're going to be that stupid. She absolutely should have been this character all along. No hoorah speeches. No go for your dreams and hit all your aspirations and goals. No college attaboy try speeches. Just go out there and be Ronda. Talk shit and beat people up. She turned heel last night. A lot of people are wondering, was this a legit heel turn? Because WWE likes to do those 50-50 heel turns. Half face, half heel turn. Still a face, but with an edge. No, this was a heel turn, guys. She beat the fuck out of Becky Lynch afterwards. Charlotte Flair had the run because Becky Lynch was getting her ass beat so bad. Ronda was so vicious. Charlotte had the run out of the ring and never returned. And Becky Lynch took a beating of a lifetime, man. Ronda Rousey was throwing her every pillar to post, throwing bows at her face, into her mid-region, hitting her with her own crutches. When it was all said and done, she took her foot and just started smearing it in Becky Lynch's face. A degrading beatdown. And this is why I say she turned legit heel. Not just because in the promo she said, I'm no longer giving a shit about you fans. Not just because she beat up their hero, but because afterwards she walked around the ring looking into the crowd and saying, that's right, boo me. I don't care what you think about me anymore. So the three things to turn heel. She A, said so in her promo, she B, beat up their hero, and she C, talk shit to the fans, the crowd afterwards. A legit Ronda Rousey heel turn. So for those of you wondering if it was a legit heel turn, the Amplified Man can put your worries and questions to bed, to rest. It was a legit, full throttle heel turn. And this is going to be a fun Ronda Rousey going forward. I still don't like the triple threat storyline they have going on, but I love the fact that Ronda Rousey is now going to be the heel in all this. And Charlotte's better as a heel, I told you guys that, so she has to as well. So I don't know how they're going to play this. Two vicious heels, right? You got Charlotte Flair is one of those bitch-type character heels, which is needed. It's like Stephanie McMahon-esque. And then you got Ronda Rousey, who's just a badass heel. She could be so badass, she's going to end up getting adulation and fan response positively. So they got to be careful with that. But as of right now, Becky Lynch is your sole hero, your sole babyface. So leading into WrestleMania, when she captures the championship, which I believe she's going to, that's going to be the best chance at a huge pop for Becky Lynch. She's the only face in the match. They can't go wrong now, unless they keep booking Becky Lynch to be a weakling meek like she is, hopping around all the way until WrestleMania. That was it. That's all I can speak about in the good, man. Ronda Rousey turns heel. This is the Ronda Rousey I wanted to see from day one. I hope she keeps it up. She can snap the arms of human beings up front in real life. There's no reason she should be having 15-minute matches with everybody on the roster. Natalya to Ruby Riott to what's next? Is she going to have a 17-minute match with Sarah Logan? You got to be kidding me. This is Ronda Rousey we're talking about. They ruined the mystique already. Let's see if we can salvage any of it. That was a good start last night. That Ronda Rousey heel turn, the beating of Becky Lynch in Triple H's promo were the only highlights of Monday Night Raw. That's not saying anything as a go-home show to this Sunday's Fastlane and 4 weeks away from WrestleMania. That is bullshit. I'm done. I'm down in the rest of my fucking coffees. That's right, with an S. I'm going about my Tuesday. I'll see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown's review and reaction. And it better deliver, man, because I cannot take another dreaded several hours like I did last night for Monday Night Raw, because it was dreadful. Amplified, man. Holla at your boy. Peace, cause he's out. For now, check you later.